everyone. Welcome to At Home with Sally. I'm Sally Clarkson, and I have the biggest privilege in the world to be with so many friends from all over the world who join me every week to listen to my stories, inspiration, biblical encouragement, and I am just so glad that you're here today. Thanks so much for joining me. Hello, my friends. Welcome to Tea Time Tuesday. Oh, my goodness. I finally got home last night. For those of you who followed my podcast yesterday, I got home and went to bed just about midnight, just fell into bed, and I slept for 10 hours. I was quite exhausted from, fun is really exhausting, and I had so much fun at the Wild and Free Conference. Well, my friends, woohoo, today is, I hope that didn't hurt your ears. Today is my launch day. I love launch days because it means I'm about to give birth to one of my babies, and then it will be through in the world. And so, oh my goodness, what a time this has been. I'm looking so forward just to sharing with you some things today. But we are just so thrilled that our publisher was able to come and take 1 million pictures at our house, and that we got to do, or that I got to do. I say we because I had a good team of women from Harvest House who helped me take all the pictures. And all the teacups you see in the book are mine. They've been collected over many years or given to me or found in secondhand shops. And I just love for people to come to my house and pick whatever teacup they want. But anyway, I feel like they allowed me to do a book that was beautiful inside and out. And as a mom of 39 years, as a friend, as a traveler, I have just witnessed so many occasions about how a shared cup of tea impacts a heart. And these simple moments of hospitality become poignant opportunities for women to support each other in faith as they draw near to God. I have been so encouraged. Well, for one thing, I was just so happy to be with so many women this weekend. They shared their hearts, their lives. Wow, you guys are amazing. You all are amazing. I shouldn't say guys. That shows my influence from another time in my life. But moms who haven't slept in about 1,000 years, people who are launching teenagers, children who had car wrecks, people who have had children with illnesses that have been extremely difficult for them, people who have moved a lot, people who, I just watch you all love and give and kiss and hug, and oh my goodness, I am just so grateful that I get to be a part of such a wonderful company of women. And one of these, I heard about these incredible groups that a lot of you have been starting. And I think that somebody told me in a message, actually, that their husband started a Tea Time Saturday group. Not really, but he meets with men in a coffee shop now because of the Tea Time Tuesday concept. He said, I'll just start a group. And one of my boys just started a group, gathering some men together. Somebody told me that they started meeting with their teenage son because it's his last year before he leaves home. And they've been doing it now for 5 weeks, and that he looks so forward to it. He gets ready ahead of time. It's just kind of a time for them to talk and be friends and to go out for whatever breakfast or coffee or tea he wants. Someone else told me that they've been taking a cup of tea once a week to their elderly neighbor who can't get out of the house, and she is the most grateful person in the world. Another sweet mom told me this week that every time I have a book launch, which is so kind of her, she has been buying 3 books extra to give away to women who are young moms who need encouragement. And then she started a group in her home, and it's been going for years. And now her groups have started other groups, and which I thought was really very special. And one of my interviewers gave me a very high compliment. I was very thrilled. She said, you know what? I think this is your very own sort of Victoria magazine because it is so beautiful. And that was so very complimentary because I love Victoria magazine. As you know, and that's what I'm going to next, a really fun giveaway today to celebrate our book getting out into the world. Victoria has been a favorite magazine of mine since Sarah was a teenager. I mean, really, we've been, even before she, I don't know, maybe she was a teenager, but we started reading it in before the 90s. And because we would sneak into my little room once a week. I had a little couch, as you'll read about in the book. I have put chairs in each of the rooms so everybody can have a quiet, private little tete-a-tete with their friends. And so we would sneak away in the room, make a cup of tea, and we would read cover to cover. She would read it out loud, then I would read it out loud to her. And we became such close friends just by doing that. It was a legacy of beauty and inspiration and friendship. So we thought what fun it would be today to give away 3 year-long subscriptions to some of you for to kind of celebrate the day. And I think that'll be a lot of fun. You will really enjoy it. It'll be a pause in your life to have some really fun authors, recipes, travels all over the world, all sorts of inspiration. And it's so beautiful. And then on top of that, another magazine came to me, and I have received these magazines. Actually, I used to get them at my Barnes & Noble, and it's just called Tea Time, and it has all these gorgeous pictures and ideas and encouragement and recipes, and they, on Tea Time magazine, are giving away 2 of my books today as a celebration. So be sure to enter for the Victoria Magazine subscription, and be sure and enter for the 2 books that they're giving away. And also be sure to enter the Zoom giveaway, the Tea Time Zoom, because I think I might even give it to like 6 people and let them and some of their friends come, and we'll have just a big hurrah. We'll have a really fun tea time together with me sometime when we can schedule it for everybody. But anyway, I really appreciate all of you have been absolutely wonderful in helping me get this out into the world and in helping me celebrate it. I hope that I've still had enough information and inspiration on my podcast that I haven't just totally bored you to death. Because a part of what a writer agrees to do with a publisher is to help the books get out into the world. So thank you for being so very patient. It was just absolutely wonderful to be able to kind of go through this with you. Well, I have to tell you, I was so grateful last night to be back at my house. I really love the weekend because the people that I've been able to make friends with over years, I absolutely adore Ainsley. She is like a part of my family. And when we get together, we talk and we share and we tell secrets and we meet together. And then we have our other friends there that I have gotten to know over the last few years. And oh my goodness, their lives are full of good and difficult and stretching. And I saw an old friend I hadn't seen for a long time. And I think that, to me, conferences, we did conferences for 23 years of our own with hundreds and hundreds, thousands of people. And that's why I love this weekend, because when you get together with like-minded people who sort of have your values and you say, well, they kept going, I can keep going too. Or, oh, they gave me a great idea. Oh, they have a little child who's mysterious. Oh, they shared a book with me, whatever. So I have to tell you that I was so encouraged to be with all of you. And thank you for the ways you encouraged me. I was treated to several cups of coffee and a dinner and just all sorts of precious encouragements, tidbits that my friends gave me. So thank you for all the people who were there and did that. There's so many fun little things today. I am going back to Oxford this Thursday. So in the midst of launching a book, writing a book, packing for Oxford, and getting ready to be with all my children again, I just decided to take a little bit of time today just to have fun. And when Clay met me at the airport last night in the dark, late at night, there were almost no cars on our freeway, which was amazing. And he brought me a little care package. And in the care package was an orange, toasted walnuts that I had made previously, a little Kind bar. Has anybody ever eaten Kind bars before? A bottle of water, and he made me coffee. I felt so happy. I didn't know which to drink first or which to eat first, but it was a little way of getting back into my life. And I really literally have sat here on the couch. My watch, my Apple Watch even talked to me. And it said, it looks like you are changing your exercise habits. Yes, I am, Apple Watch. As a matter of fact, today I am melting into this couch because I can't seem to be able to move. I have this wonderful little coffee shop nearby where I've known the owners as friends for years. And they make these small little crustless quiches. It's quiche Lorraine. It really has a little bit of the bacon and the onions and the Swiss cheese in it, but it's small, so I don't have to feel guilty, and it doesn't have any crust. And so I went over there and treated myself to coffee. You know that I make my own tea at places because, in my home, because I make it better. But I have one or two coffee shops that I go to, and no, I'm sorry, I can't tell you where they are. Because I have to keep them a secret. Anyway, and so I got myself a cup of coffee, and I got myself my little quiche, and I just sat on this couch for hours kind of staring into space with a very empty head. Anyway, it was really lots of fun. So I'm going to tell you, because it's Tea Time Discipleship launch day, I'm going to tell you I do have a basic scone recipe that's one of my most favorite basic scone recipes in the book. And one thing I found is that clotted cream, which is what a lot of people spread on their scones in England, it's a special thing. You can order it from some specialty shops or sometimes from Amazon. But instead of clotted cream, you can either whip up real whipped cream, which is a great substitute for clotted cream, or I have even, don't tell anyone, at times used a can of real whipped cream. And so there's a big battle over scones as to whether or not you put the clotted cream on first or whether you put the jam on first. So I put my raspberry jam, that's my favorite jam, to go on my scones. And then I put the whipped cream on top, and then I eat it. And I might even have a scone today, just because it's celebration time. Tomorrow I'll have to have one too. Actually, you're hearing this tomorrow. Okay, so today, which is my tomorrow, I think I'll have a scone and raspberry jam and whipped cream, and I will eat every bite and not feel a bit guilty because I am bringing myself some refreshment. Okay, so my friends, the other thing that I do with my scones, and I have lots of recipes, lots of ways to do it. I also just love buttered cinnamon toast with my homemade bread as a tea time goodie. But another thing I do is I chop up pecans. Sometimes I chop up my salted pecans. You know about those if you've read my recipe books before. And I like to put chopped pecans and white chocolate chips and occasionally craisins. So 3 things: chopped pecans, white chocolate chips, and craisins. And if I don't have any craisins, oh well. But then I slather it with the clotted cream or clotted cream substitute. And then I slather it with raspberry jam. Another thing that Sarah and Joy and I used to do is we used to put some whipped cream into a little bit of cream cheese and whip it all up. And that was also a great substitute. Now, one more thing I have to tell you that is traditional and really wonderful on scones. Scones are kind of like American biscuits, but not. They don't have yeast in them or the same kind of raising powers that scones have. But another thing that I love, and I just found some, and I put some of these in my gift boxes to different people, and I love lemon curd. It's you'll just have to find it. You can find it online. Lemon curd is kind of like eating a lemon meringue pie, only just the lemon part on a scone. And that is also very delicious. So I've probably made all of you pretty hungry by now. And I hope that you will be sure to eat at least a piece of chocolate and a cup of tea, and or coffee if you must. And I hope that you will just enjoy yourself today. Enjoy yourself today. This day will never come again. I do not feel a bit guilty for sitting here on my couch for hours. I did manage to put a load of wash in, and I did manage to put a suitcase out. But I like to pack ahead of time because I don't like to take a chance on being late at all. I was thinking yesterday, actually, this is an aside. You know how I talk about gentleness a lot and I talk about honor? Honor was one of the most important things to me. If you have heard our 24 Family Ways podcasts, honor was one of the most important things to me because I believe if you don't learn to bow your knee before someone, if you don't learn to submit to authorities, and I am not a natural submitter to authorities, I am pretty sure that most of the time I am right about almost everything. So it takes a lot for me to be trained to be humble, but I've learned little by little. But I was laughing yesterday because here I told all of these sweet women at Wild and Free that you need to honor people and you need to be humble so that you can gently be a person who loves and opens their hearts. And I thought at the airport, oh no, I've got to be honoring to all of these people who are telling me that we are not going to get into Colorado. As a matter of fact, they had scheduled me for a plane today, 24 hours later than my other flight, but I ended up getting the last ticket on a plane home to Denver last night. Can you believe it? I just see the Lord in so many different ways lately at the last moment, bringing grace to my life. So yes, I did miss one plane, but yes, I did get the last ticket on the last plane that was leaving from Phoenix for Denver last night so that I could get home and sleep in my own wonderful bed. Okay, so I have digressed long enough. I want to tell you that you can go on Spotify or Apple Music, and you can find different tea time playlists that you can play for all your tea times or just in the house or whatever. But something I'm going to recommend is go to Sarah Clarkson on Spotify and download her or play her Book Girl playlist. That is a beautiful, soft playlist that you can enjoy during tea times or just in the day if you want to calm everything down. You can do that too. Well, I thought I would tell you one more object or one more item that is absolutely divine and delicious for tea times. This week, Ainsley kind of spoils all of us, and I'm very grateful that she spoils speakers because I don't have anyone to spoil me anymore, so I feel very grateful for her spoiling. And I was sitting, I think, in the big, large room where all 800 women were, and I had been signing books for about an hour, and someone said, Sally, Ainsley put out donuts. What kind do you want? I said, just make it really chocolatey. I mean, I haven't had a donut in a long time. My boys still love donuts. My grandchildren love donuts, but I don't live anywhere where there are donuts in Oxford. And though there are some around, it's not within 5 minutes of my house, which would be very tempting. And so my friend, Jennifer Pepito, brought me a donut, and it wasn't just covered with chocolate. First, it was dunked in chocolate frosting, and then it was dipped in semi-sweet chocolate chips. I mean, there were hundreds of semi-sweet chocolate chips. It was the best thing I may have ever had in my life. And so that would also be a great treat to go along with whatever you do in the day to pause, to stop, have a cup of tea, have a cup of coffee, have a cup of something, and if you ever see it, get a donut that has frosting and chocolate chips on top. It was absolutely wonderful. Well, my friends, one of the things that I talked with my friend Rhea Berg about, and she is a dear friend from many years ago. She is scholarly. She is so intelligent and so insightful, and I'm probably going to have her on my podcast sometime soon. And we were just talking about how the older you become, and she's in my age range-ish, at some point you have to accept the fact that this is a fallen, broken world. And what that means is that things that were supposed to be working and dependable and gracious and helpful and lovely and true have been tainted by the fall of man. What that means is there are car wrecks, there are broken relationships, there are difficulties in marriage. I was sitting in the airport yesterday, and this woman next to me started screaming at her husband. I'm so glad it didn't get caught on my podcast, my short podcast yesterday. We all get tense, don't we? There are so many difficulties. There are just the utter exhaustion when you have children and babies, when you stay up with your teenager late at night to talk about their doubts or their failures or whatever. When you look at your marriage and you go, wow, we're kind of worn out a little bit. This is very hard. Nobody cares for me. Whatever situation you're in, what I learned and what my friend and I were talking about, she is also I'm turning 70 in August, and a big year for me, and she's already 70. And we talked about the fact that at some point, to keep going, you have to accept the bounds of a fallen world. In this world, Jesus said you had tribulation as he went to the cross. But take courage. And so I just wanted to end on courageous quotes today, because what you are doing, number one, matters so deeply. Do you think that when your child grows up, they're going to look back and go, boy, was I glad I had a mother who loved me. Boy, was I glad I had a mother who taught me foundations of grace and truth, because now I am facing temptations and I know what to do because I had a mother who taught me. Boy, am I thankful that whatever it is, what you are doing, yes, you're tired. Of course you're tired. It's a big task, and it is a marathon of a task. But what we were talking about yesterday is that I was talking with another very sweet friend of mine who has been through one of the worst periods of 6 months of women that I've ever heard. I mean, all sorts of terrible illness and surprises and difficulties and challenges. We were talking with her about the fact that to believe in God's goodness every day, all the time, no matter what, is a service of worship to him. To choose to be one of those people who plants a flag and says, I will believe, I will trust. Even when I'm walking in darkness and I don't see you, I will trust. Because it does matter that you learn to keep putting one foot in front of the other. It also matters that you grab hands with your friend and say, let's do it together. I will help you, you help me. And so I wanted to read to you just three. I could have done 20, but I won't do 20 today. 3 quotations that I think might encourage you. Dale Carnegie, I love the whole backstory of the Carnegie family. From Scotland in poverty, came to America, worked hard, worked himself up, hired friends, worked on the railroads, became a mogul. Carnegie left his family with enough to live on, but not extra, and he started so many different Carnegie Hall, Carnegie, I think is how they say it. I don't know. And started libraries and used his whole life as a blessing. And this is what he said. Most of the important things in the world have been accomplished by people who have kept on trying when there seemed to be no hope at all. It's you mount up over things. You look down in your heart. You find strength you didn't know you had. You find capacity. You find the muscle to keep going. Most of the important things in the world have been accomplished by people who have kept on trying when there seemed to be no hope at all. Thomas Edison said, "Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always just to try one more time," and I would say to take one more step forward, one step at a time. That's what I did in my life. I would be discouraged, or I would be depressed, or I would come up against a wall, and I would say, there's no way but forward. Dear God, walk me through this, companion me through it, give me hope. And that's where I learned to encourage myself. My tea times, my walks with my girls, my taking some time off, my traveling from time to time. I realized I was responsible to keep my heart alive. And I'm not talking about things that don't keep your heart alive. I'm talking about spending time with friends, developing time with maybe a pleasure that you enjoy. I really enjoy hosting, oddly. I really enjoy flowers. I really enjoy my hikes in the mountains. You know what I enjoy. Okay, now this is from Confucius. And Confucius says, and I think this is a great admonition to us, it does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. And I was reading some other marathon quotes, and almost every single one of them said, pace yourself, don't run yourself out at the beginning. You have a long way to go. So, my dear friends, what you are doing matters. Give a legacy of hope, of goodness, of love, of faith, of spirituality to the next generation. Do what you need to do to stop and refresh. Don't work on empty too long because people are drawing from you constantly. Oh, how I wish I could do more conferences. It's so much fun to be with people. But anyway, I want to thank you, all of you, who are... I just want to thank all of you. I mean, my goodness, I have this whole group of people all over the world who encourage me and who walk with me through all of these Tea Time Tuesdays. And you're my friends, and you have supported our ministry through so many books, and so many of you are in our membership, and so many of you have given to Whole Heart Ministries over the years. So many of you have been in my Bible studies. Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you about my Bible study. My Bible study went for about 9 years, my famous Bible study. And famous by that I mean it's the longest I was able to keep one Bible study going. And we met here at my house. I just advertise it to people online. And we met at my house, and it eventually grew to be about, we would have between 100 and 150 people at a time. We sat everywhere. We hung from the rafters. We sat on floors. We didn't care. But we loved one another. We met in the evenings so that somebody could take care of the kids, not us, and so that all the children weren't gathered together fussing. So that's where we had a quiet time together. We met in the evenings, and between 100 people, I'd always say, how about 6 or 8 of you bring some snacks next time? We always had enough snacks. And eventually I just served water because it's hard to serve anything else to 150 people. And so we had snacks. Sometimes the women would stay so late that I would just go to bed. But anyway, that lasted until the last, and we wrote about this in the book, and you've heard me say it before, but until one night, a policeman showed up at our door, and he said, you have way too many cars in this neighborhood. You've got to stop. And I would do it again if I could start a Bible study. But I have had this great Bible study the last several years in Oxford, and I love all of you. I'm coming back next week. Let's meet next Monday night. And we've been together. This is our 3rd year, and they've become friends. Their kids have become friends. At the very beginning, we had to meet outside. Clay got us this little, covering so that if it rained, it didn't rain on us. A covering with poles, I don't know what you call that, a little tent, a little open tent. And then when it was really cold, we had to meet in my garage and put a heater in my garage because we weren't allowed to gather in a home. And so we broke the rules, not really, but we just gathered in the garage and we gathered outside. And now these are precious friends to me. And now I have another Bible study that I have with a mentor, some of these precious, wonderful PhD students and students at Oxford. So anyway, my friends, I just want you to know that I appreciate all of you, the way that you support me in my mission to get the messages of biblical home, family, faith, encouragement out into the world. We are a team. I appreciate all the messages. I appreciate you buying my books. Thank you a zillion, because I couldn't do it without you. So celebrate today. I hope all of you win, and I will be talking to you soon. Let me pray. Dear Heavenly Father, bless and bless and bless these precious, wonderful friends who engage in my podcast. Bless them today to know that they are not alone, and that my whole team is praying for them. Bless them to know that who they are is exactly who you meant them to be. You made their personality, the color of their eyes, the color of their hair, the fingerprints they have. Help them to know that they are very wonderful and special because they were crafted by your Holy Spirit. And give them hope. Give them the ability to go forward, to have inspiration for their lives, knowing that their children and their families and their friends have a hope in their heart that someone will show the light and the love of Christ to them. Bless them, I pray, Lord. And if anyone doesn't feel like they know you or feels far away from you, please, Lord, reach their hearts today. In Jesus' name, I pray, amen. All right, my friend, cheers, cheers, cheers. Have a wonderful day, and I will be talking to you again soon. Bye-bye. I hope you've enjoyed our time together today and that you'll join me next week. Be sure to look for more inspiration on my blog at sallyclarkson.com. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.